It's the week 3 of the winter series for the SFL. First game, we were going to do the same thing that we did last week for week 2. I thought I wouldn't post today, but it's 11 o'clock and I ain't got nothing to do, so guess what? We're posting. So we have Cincinnati and Charlotte, San Diego and Houston, Chicago and Portland, Birmingham and Phoenix, New York and New Orleans, Boise and Minnesota, Boston and Detroit, and Orlando and Philly. Now, obviously, as usual, we'll just hash these games off and then look at the scores and then look at the playoff picture for our championship games and all that stuff. So, how about we just kick this thing off? Okay, so we have gotten all the games. So now looking at the results. Gotta go down a bit to the results. Cincinnati lost to Charlotte. San Diego beat Houston. Chicago beat Portland, which was pretty big because Portland was like the number 1 team. Birmingham beat Phoenix. New Orleans lost to New York. Minnesota beat Boise. Detroit beat Boston. And Orlando beat Philly. So that was pretty big because this week, in my opinion, I think that this is the week where we see how everyone will end up being in the season. So how about we look at this and get some predictions from so go here to standings. San Diego is the only undefeated team. So I think that they will be a good 12-3. But since we are randomizing this, I have 0 control. So Coach Sack Daddy McTacklesworth might just be pretty mad at the results of this game, at the results at the end of the season. Detroit in second with Charlotte, New York, Phoenix, Chicago, Minnesota, Houston, Birmingham, Philly, Portland, Cincinnati, Orlando, Boston, New Orleans, and then Boise. So we have 2 teams that are winless, which are New Orleans and Boise. Not looking the best for them right now. But so I have a prediction for the San Diego Wave going 12-3. The Detroit Speed, I think they'll go maybe say 10-5. Yeah, 10-5. Charlotte, they just turned it up because I'm pretty sure they lost their first game. So I think that they will end up with the same record as Detroit, being 10-5. New York, I think that they will be slightly better than Detroit and Charlotte, being 11-6. Oh my god, I said 11-6. 11-4. Phoenix, I think that they will fall a bit and go 9-6, but make the playoffs. Chicago, I feel like they will just trend up more and more, with them having a 71-68 total. They are pretty close to being in the middle, but feel like they will be right on par with 10-5. Okay, Minnesota. Minnesota might. I think Minnesota will go 9-6 too, but make the playoffs. Going against. Actually, yeah, they will be like right in the end there. But since in week 15 they are playing Detroit, I think that Detroit's gonna win that last game, and that's gonna knock them out of the playoff picture. Houston. I feel like Houston could do really big things with them, but they're 1-2. I meant they're 2-1. Them and Birmingham, but I think that they will be. This will be the championship game of the Central, but I feel like Houston's gonna be 8-7, and they will be 7-8. And then you have Philly. I think Philly's gonna trend up just barely enough to be on par with Houston being 7-8, 8-7. Portland had a great first game, but since then they've done bad. So I think that they will like have that peak in high school kind of vibe and get right on par with Birmingham being like, wait, what? It was 7-8. Yeah, 7-8. Cincinnati is not doing the best right now either. I think that they will, by the looks of it, they will be far and away last in their division, getting 6-9. Yeah, 6-9. But Orlando and Boston, I feel like they are very similar spots, since they both just got new logos. And they didn't get the first two new logos. They are more in the negatives than Cincinnati. So I think that they, with their old logos, first and last year, they will both go. They will both go right below Cincinnati, being 5-10. Yeah, 5-10. I feel like yeah. And then you have 15-16, which are New Orleans and Boise. I think that New Orleans is going to trend up just a little bit come like near the end of the season, being on par with Boston and Orlando. So I think that they will get right on par with them being 5-10. And Boise, I feel like this could just be not their year, with them being like well behind everyone else in their division. I think that they'll be going 4-11, having the worst season. So with that, looking at the playoffs here, San Diego would be hosting Phoenix. Yeah, San Diego would be hosting Phoenix in the Western Division Championship. The Eastern Division Championship will be between New York and Charlotte. You heard it here earlier. I think that Detroit and Chicago will be in the Midwestern Championship, but it'll just be a very close, like almost three-way tie between these teams. But with Detroit beating Minnesota in the last week to put them just above to get on to be able to verse the Flyers in the playoffs. And then you have Houston and Birmingham. I think that if Coach Billy Bob McGee will just be able to make that last turn that they have to get, they could Birmingham could go up. Same with Portland. Coach Long Trousers McGillicuddy could really drive this team back up to where they were at the end of week 1 to be right up there against San Diego, or even a team like New York in the finals. But other than that, those are just my opinions. And I think that these newer teams that will be in the league, San Francisco might get a new logo. That's just like a little thing that I think that might happen. But other than that, I think that also online logos. We were going to try that. We tried that a lot yesterday. It was very hard to try and implement them online when a lot of the time my pencil erases, my erase shavings are like not looking the best, and the end of the brush is like very round, so I cannot really implement them to the same effect that it would be if I had as I had them in real life, because I like these real life logos. But yeah, I do kind of prefer these because I can't find anything better to use or to make them with. But other than that, that's the end of this video. So other than that, deuces. Week 4 is coming up, so let's see how that is.